first 5 innings money line confuses almost every single recreational sports bettor. They either completely ignore it or they are going to bet it exactly who they think is going to win the entire game. And that's a mistake. These two bets aren't decided on the same thing, and indeed, they're not even close. So if you want to start having better research and start betting like a sharp bettor, then pay attention, because in this video, I'm going to show you the exact research that some of the top sports bettors are doing in order to target this first 5 innings money line bet every single day. Let's go ahead and jump into Outlier's mobile app and seeing exactly what they have for us. Now that we are over here on the mobile app for Outlier, the very first thing that you need to do is set the sports books that you are wanting to bet on. And all you'll need to do is hit that little drop down arrow, select the books that you currently bet on, and then you can hit close. Now from here, what you'll want to do is go to this little games button here. This is going to show you all of the different games going on within the MLB today. So for this video, let's go ahead and just take a look at this Pirates and Yankees game. All you need to do is click into it, and then from there, because these are the regular full game money lines, but again, we are looking for the first 5 innings money line. So that's what you'll see here. Click on the bottom, 5 innings. You will see the first 5 innings money line. Click that drop down, and then you will see the only 2 options. It is either the away team or the home team. So let's just go ahead and click into this home team, which is the New York Yankees in this matchup. And this is going to show you all of this information that you are going to need in order to make this bet. Now, the first thing that you see here is actually the hit rates over their last 10. If you want to look at the last 20 games, the 2026 season, maybe if they have any head-to-head matchups, and then you can see those dates there. You can see that there is no games that they have faced off each other for this year. So let's just, for the purpose of this, go back to the last 10 games. And then from here, you can see the hit rates for each of these teams. The Yankees have won 60% of their first 5 games over their last 10. And you can do the same thing for the Pirates. Now, what I will say is this is not at all the extent of this tool over on Outlier. What you can actually do is looking at the starting pitcher. This is the expected starting pitcher for this game, and you can do that for the Yankees as well, looking at either one of these 2 pitchers, as well as this little game scripting feature. But that's not it, because there's also this little matchup tab here. And the reason that I bring all of those things up is because those are the stats that are most commonly overlooked by the most recreational sports bettors. They are looking at win streaks, team records, bullpen depth, and a lot of information that does not matter for first 5 inning bets. Because what actually decides this bet is quite narrow, and it's exactly what's going to help you win more first 5 bets, so you need to pay attention to this. Because our goal is finding out which pitcher is better positioned to allow less runs, but also what lineup is better positioned to score more runs in the first half of this ball game. So it's important that you don't ignore this and have these same strategies as a losing sports bettor. So let's go ahead and jump back into Outlier and look at this. So as I mentioned here, if we look at just the last 10 games over here for the Yankees, you can see that they've hit this bet 60% of the time. However, what I care about is how are the Yankees actually performing when this starting pitcher is in? All you have to do is toggle that. So again, you can see that they've hit this in 60% of the games. However, whenever this starting pitcher is in over the last 10, they've only hit 10% of the games. Yes, it was his last game. However, if you look at this, he's actually allowing a good amount of runs. Yes, he only allowed 1 run in the first 5, but the prior 2 games allowed 4, allowed 7, allowed 2, 1, 7, 5. So again, allowing a good amount of runs to these opposing teams. And that already tells a drastically different story. And we can do the exact same thing for this pitcher as well, looking at Braxton Ashcraft. So again, you can see that they've only hit their first 5 money line in 50% of their last 10 games. However, when Ashcraft is in, you can see that it's gone 70%. And really, if you look at his last 5, he's hit this in 4 out of his last 5 games. So now where you might have leaned a little bit more towards the Yankees, I'm actually feeling pretty confident in the fact that this Pirates team has a good shot in this matchup today. Now, that's not it, because again, I had mentioned the game scripting feature. So if you just click back over here on the Yankees, and we'll toggle this picture off, but let's use this game scripting feature. What you'll see here is we can actually look, okay, how does this team perform in home games? So if we select that, you can actually see, okay, now they're only winning the first 5 money line in 30% of the games. However, if it's a home game with this starting pitcher, it's still 20%. He hasn't hit this since May 2nd. His start versus Baltimore in May 2nd. But let's do the exact same thing for the Pirates and see how that works. Now, if we want to do that, all you have to do is hit that X, and then we'll go use this bar chart. So now you can go here and we'll look at away games for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And again, we want to toggle on that starting pitcher. But again, you can see here over the last 5 games, they tied in 1, but won the other 4. But when Braxton Ashcraft is the pitcher, 70% of the games, really, if you look at their last 8 games, they've gone 7-1 over their last 8 games. So again, another reason that I feel really confident in this Pirates first 5 money line in this Yankees game. So up to this point, all we've done is compare the 2 pitchers, but now next what we need to do is compare the 2 lineups. And all you need to do is go to this little matchup button here, and that's going to show you everything that you need. So again, once you click that, wait for this information to load, and what you'll see is the pitcher stats, the starting pitcher stats for each of these 2 pitchers, and then you'll see the bullpen stats, which again, we don't necessarily care about. By the first 5 innings, you are likely not going to see any of these guys. They're going to have 0 impact on this game. But this is the batter stats that we care about. So if we toggle in between these 2 teams, first we want to look, okay, is there any matchup versus this opposing pitcher? Well, as you can see here, between all of these hitters on the Yankees, there's no previous matchups. So what you'll need to do is look at versus right-handed pitching, and that is what Braxton Ashcraft is. Now from here, what you'll see is really a lot of these hitters aren't doing too good. 260 is about the mark that I care about. And if you look here for their batting average, there is only 2 hitters batting over 260, and that is Ben Rice and Rosario hitting 274 and 284. Now, another one that you want to pay attention to is the on-base plus slugging. That is going to have a huge implication to how this game is likely to play out, especially in the first 5 innings. And again, what you're looking at is roughly about 750 plus here, for indicating that's to be pretty good. And that means they're drawing either a good amount of walks or having a decent amount of base hits or even extra base hits, which goes into that slugging percentage. So as you can see here, these numbers do increase quite a bit. Looking for players who have 750 plus, you do see a couple of them on that list. Now let's go over and look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. And as you can see here, is there any history versus this opposing pitcher? Not too much. Here we go. So yeah, not too much. This isn't a ton. Usually I want to see double digits. There is some history for them, but again, nothing crazy. So let's go do the same thing for left-handed pitching. Now again, when we look at 260 plus, we can actually see that there are multiple hitters. We have Mangum here. We have Gonzalez, Valdez, Reynolds. So already so many more players, but we also again want to look at the on-base plus slugging, looking for 750 plus. Now this is where this number takes a little bit of a hit for this team, is that on-base plus slugging, where the Yankees have a little bit more of an advantage in that regard. However, I don't think that the Yankees have that significant of an advantage over this Pittsburgh Pirates team. Just because of the average alone, I think that this Pittsburgh team is a much better hitting team. They likely aren't getting just a ton of extra base hits. So regardless though, this is exactly how you can compare these 2 teams. And then from here, you also want to check the weather for this game as well. Now what you see is there is sideways wind blowing 9 miles an hour, and this is actually important because if you hit this little information button on this weather chart, the winds is what I mentioned is actually crucial in this, because crosswinds actually affect pitch command and fielding accuracy. So we have the Pirates pitcher who has been dominating recently, but now again he has crosswinds affecting him. But on the other hand, we also have a Yankees pitcher who has been struggling really this entire season, and he's not going to have any help in this matchup alone because of the wind in this game. So if we go back and seeing what else we see here, we have a ballpark factor. This is ranked 6th, meaning that this is a very hitter-friendly ballpark. And if you click see more, you can see that here. The Yankee Stadium is the 6th friendliest ballpark in all of the MLB with a hitter or a ballpark factor of 103. Now you can compare this for left-handed batters, still ranks 6th, and then right-handed batters, it kind of falls middle of the pack with a ballpark factor of 99. But again, hitters are having a ton of success at Yankee Stadium. So because of how these 2 teams play and the pitching advantage going to the Pirates, I personally lean a little bit more towards them in that game. However, before I ever select anything, what you want to do before you ever do any of this is check line movement and price shop. So once we select this, you can see exactly how all of these different sportsbooks are reacting to this market and then also buying the best line available. So as you can see here, if I wanted to take the Pittsburgh Pirates money line, Between the 4 books that I have selected, I would absolutely buy this on Novig at -104. That is the biggest discrepancy in the market and the best price available. And that's the process. All you need to do is compare the pitchers and then compare the batting lineup, as well as looking at line movement, weather charts, and even ballpark factors. And thankfully, we can do all of that within Outlier's mobile app. And if you are looking to get started, check the description below and you can download Outlier and start a 7-day free trial. Now, if you also found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe because I am dropping these videos every single week. And if you wanted to not miss any of them, hit that notification bell as well. Anyways, I hope that this video helped you, and best of luck betting out there, and I'll see you in the next one.